Alright, so we are right back into another Dragon Ball Super card game video, and I just have one question. And you can see this from a screenshot here from our Try First Name administrator of the Dragon Ball Super card game group on Facebook. What happened to Revenge? And weirdly enough, that was asked almost over a year ago now, and we still don't really have an answer for that. And what I wanted to do today is actually go through all of the printed cards. We only have 7. What their applications are, what you can actually use it from, what kind of happened to it, and where we can go going forward from here. And there's a number of reasons why I wanted to do that. There's always a number of reasons for me, but the main reason is because we really haven't had a card printed with the Revenge keyword on it since set 2. And not only that, the ruling chains for the King Vegeta surprise attack also was basically changed and slash clarified. The mechanic was changed, whatever you want to call it. I don't agree with it. It's silly. It's whatever, right? But at the same time, it seems like they're kind of pushing out the keyword and don't really want it to be too relevant for it. What I do want to hear from you, not only subscribe if you're new, turn on the notifications if you like, like all the other stuff. Let me know in the comments below. How would you fix Revenge? How would you reintroduce it into these future sets? Basically, what would you do? Would you create a new card? Would you print it on more things? Would you give it for free on certain cards? Who knows? And that's kind of what I wanted to go through. So the first thing, of course, is all of the cards, or are all of the cards that have Revenge right now, and kind of going through these, starting with the King Vegeta surprise attack. It's actually really silly. Again, and just a really quick rundown. Please go take a look at my 10 rulings video as far as the ones that you should know. This one is pretty much the first or second one in there. I don't even remember at this point, but it is in that video. And I do explain how they changed the ruling for this one. Quick, too long didn't watch, is that you can give this card or use this card in your activate battle, but because of the way that Revenge is right now, or the fact that it is, after you give it Revenge, it becomes a guard card, and the guard card, quote unquote, doesn't activate Revenge until the end of the battle or after it becomes a guard card. It's kind of hard to explain. Again, go look at the video, go look at the comments, go look at the rule book that I referenced and all the other stuff. So King Vegeta surprise attack is not so much as useless, but less useful than it was before. The biggest application for this is probably the Deadly Defender Android 18, in which you pay for 2 in the Android 17 and 18 liter, and then you can go ahead and just protect yourself and use King Vegeta surprise attack. Really good way to defend yourself, and also have a contingency plan, especially against like Hidden Mastery, Victory Strike, or whatever it may be. But because of the way that Revenge is clarified, I guess, the only way you can really do that is if they are attacking a different card some way, somehow. Like if you had 2 Deadly Defenders, you give one of them Revenge using this, and then after that first battle, it now has Revenge, and if they attack into that, they would actually get it KO'd. So it's pretty much pointless because it's no longer a surprise attack. It is the opposite of it. I don't know if why they did this, or why this was a thing, but oh well. This was released in set 1. So again, with the set 1 card, this is Tenacious Vegeta. We actually don't even have a 1-drop Vegeta that searches like top 7 like Kansei and Goku. I think this would have a little bit more merit, and as well as a little bit more I don't know, use, but really is kind of a useless card. We have so many 2-drops that are more than 10,000 power, that has more than what Revenge offers, and doesn't have a permanent that doesn't make any sense. This was a card that was designed for the set 1 meta, as in, if you look at it, they only had maybe 100 or so cards that you can actually use and build decks for, including the starter deck and all the other stuff, right? So having such a small pool of cards, this is a very specific card, and during that time, it was probably a pretty strong card as long as people would try to attack it. But because it doesn't have blocker, you can't force it. Because back then, you can't really do anything without the 3-star ball, which I'm gonna bring up a couple of different times. I'm pretty sure it's a 3-star ball. Let me just make sure. Yeah, it's a 3-star ball, right? No, it's a 2-star ball. 2-star ball. This one. No, it is not the 2. Okay, 5-star. Jesus Christ, here it is. Okay, so we have the 5-star ball in which you draw one and then you choose one of your battle cards and gains blocker. Any of the ones that don't have blocker, which would not be Yajirobe and Zenmo's Android 16, you can always use this and just give it blocker and revenge. You get to draw one out of that one cost, it replaces itself, and you can kind of just do that. Why aren't people doing that more often? Well, I think what it is that you have to spend more energy for something that should be already there, or at least for something that is less practical, if that makes sense. So when you have a card like, I'm gonna get to all of these, but when you have a card like Yajirobe, the opponent should be able to plan it out pretty easily to get it removed or to tap it down. So a yellow Broly leader will tap this down immediately if they're going for a game on with a battle card. A person with removal or inherent removal or spot removal like Dimension Battle Fu, or a leader card like the Gogeta that they can bottom deck something, or the Black Broly, whatever it may be, they will prioritize this and make sure they get rid of it. Because the reason why King Vegeta Surprise Attack was so good is because you didn't have to worry about that. You can just block with one of the cards and then give a revenge. You can do that with anything. But now, since we have it the opposite way, in which you can have a revenge card and then block, is a lot less practical. Not only that, is that you have to spend extra energy every single turn, and then the opponent can easily pass, and then you wasted energy. You got a card, but that is really about it, you know, and you can pretty much just plan around it. Going into that, coming back from that, I guess, is the Forceful Strike Cell, which is kind of a weird name, by the way, for an android slash cyborg slash green monster alien looking thing that forcefully has to strike an android 18 and 17, 2 teenagers, I don't know. All right. This one does have double strike, it's the 20k, and it does have revenge with a weird auto in which when this card battles and it's your turn and the opponent combos, you can place that combo card into the drop area just once. So it's like a Jacko built in, only on your turn, only when you're attacking, which is kind of silly because if it has revenge, you should be the other way around, right? Or at least have no once per turn. I mean, that, like, make this a good card. Like, come on now. Also, it is a 5-drop in which it is kind of hefty. The only way to kind of cheat it out, or one of the best ways, is to Cell Chain it, as in the 3-drop, and then you can go into this, or you can go ahead and just use Cell's Birth and then pay for 3 instead, because this is 3 specified. They did it for a reason, and this was printed, I think, the set 1 or set 2 promo cards. So that's where, you know, Cell was around. I'm pretty sure this is set 2, because that's when Cell was around. But anyway, neither here nor there. I don't know how to make this card good. The only way to make it good was Cell Chain. We don't really have a replacement for that. And another reason why I wanted to make this video is to kind of showcase, like, we now know the anniversary stuff. We now know the World Martial Arts Tournament stuff. And both of those don't have anything involving revenge. And we don't have anything involving Cell. Cell got hit as far as a ban or limited to 1 for the Cell Chain, and now you're limited to playing Cell Chain, or at least the 5-drops with Cell and Cell's Birth, which clogs up the deck and makes it less consistent and just not as competitive as it was before, because it's a lot harder to do all those things. What I'm looking for are more cards for revenge, and I'm very, very curious to see how they would do that in the upcoming sets, if they will do that for set 7, because it's going to be at least 9 sets, including the theme boosters, before we actually see it, if that is the case. So that is very interesting. Either way, not a very playable card, going off my tangent. And then Implaceable Trunks. So if we look at this one, this is a weird one. This one can be evolved on a Trunks future, which, by the way, I think they actually have a number of, we have actually a number of different targets for that. The best target for me, it's probably going to be the 1-drop Bridge to the Future Trunks, because you're going to be playing the green anyway. And then there's all these other Trunks. This one is a Trunks Youth, doesn't really count. This one does count if you want to evolve it, if you're playing blue-green, but this one specifies 3 green and doesn't really get played anyway. Child's Wish is gone too, so they're a little bit harder to play as well. It's just really, really weird how all of these things are being phased out, from Cell to Revenge, etc. And I'm trying to understand if, or trying to believe that, you know, in the further sets, set 7, set 8 later this year, that are they going to be reprinting these these keywords, and as well as these type of cards. So is Cell Chain coming back at 4 or 3, or something that's very restricted, but you can still do the same thing with the 3-drop or as the 3-drop? Are we going to be seeing Revenge, etc.? Anyway, so you evolve for 3. This guy has Revenge out of nowhere, and it's a 15k double striker. And when it evolves, you choose up to one card from your drop area and add it to your hand. This is one of the first recursion cards that is, before Wish Leaders, and being in set 1 is kind of a very niche card. Giving this blocker would be cool, I guess, with the 5-star ball. And I mean, I can't really see it being played, playing 4 energy either to play it, or 3 energy and then 1 more energy to play the blocker. I don't feel like that's really valuable. And in this game, you have to create value wherever you can, and you have to make sure that this Trunks future, whatever you play, survives. So this is not very much of a playable card in most cases. You would really have to work to make it work, and when you do make it work, it's probably not worth it. And then Courageous Heart Yajirobe, getting to the ones that I actually do like. It's a 2-drop revenge blocker other than Yellow Broly, and as well as other things that tap down or inherently remove. This is a really good card against boss monsters and boss type of things, and I think that's another reason why revenge blockers and just these type of cards aren't being played as much, is because of How to Master Broly. And as soon as you run into that, it'll just get tapped down, and there goes your value. The only way I can really think of for this one, and as well as the next one, which is the Android 16, both of them are very good in their own way, is that you can use a Zarbon after the first attack, restand it, and then revenge, or block and then use the revenge. Just a FYI, for the blocker revenges, blocker revenge cards like this one in Android 16 aren't really affected by the ruling, because it already has revenge. It already is a guard card, so it acts as normal. The only thing that was changed is because of the King Vegeta surprise attack. So just as a heads up on that one. But yeah, I mean, blue is kind of a weird sort of color to give this to. If this was green, like I can't really imagine it being green just because of Yajirobe, but just to fit it to the archetype, it would make a little bit more sense. But back then in set 2 and set 3, this is a pretty damn good card. It's just we phased out a little bit more and more as we got more things switched to rest, more removal, more overrealm, more options to get away from the control, and as well as stall bases. We went more into aggro, we went more into value, more actions per turn, and that's why we don't really see this too much. Same thing for Iron Hammer of Justice Android 16. I think this is still a really good card. I'm still playing it in my new Android 13 deck that I hopefully will be finished by next month. And he's really good, and the reason for that is because he is a 15k attacker for 3. If you pair it, like I talked about in my now dead Super Shenron deck profile, in which you give this guy a bean, now he's 20k, and then as soon as it has revenge, it'll KO the attacking card after you block, and then you can get to switch to active mode. Plus, it is sort of like a topo, because if you swing and KO a battle card on your turn, it can just restand and keep doing that. So it has a lot of good uses. Two green energies, kind of that's fine. Child's Wish is probably one of the easiest ways to get out a card like this. I'm very disappointed that not many people took use of it, especially with Super Shenron in that meta, because as soon as they swing with like a youthful or Explorer Bulma or something like that, something weak, you can just go ahead and revenge block and then just keep doing that until you can defend against your life. But neither here nor there. I think what I'm really trying to get to, and as well as King Vegeta, King Cold, Father Emperor. Now this guy is a counter battle card attack. So what happens is that in the counter phase, as in after they attack you, you play this card for 4, yes, for 4, and then you tap something down. It has double strike randomly. It was printed in Series 1. I don't think they knew what they were doing. But then it has revenge, and then it changes the attack or whatever they're attacking, your leader or whatever, to this card. So basically, it's still in active mode. And for those who didn't play this, it's in active mode. It has revenge, and if it survives, it KOs the other one, or if it doesn't, it still KOs the other one. Plus, you get to prevent another attack by tapping down a battle card that doesn't have barrier. So this does a lot, which is why it is 4 costs. There is nothing to cheat this out, not that I know of. There is the other King Cold, but that is for 5 and less Frieza's Clan, or 5 or more Frieza's Clan, I do believe. Whatever it is, energy costs 5, I guess. And this is a very cool card, but very expensive. And even in mono yellow builds, I don't know if this is going to be worth it, especially with the existence of battering. If battering didn't exist, this would be a perfect counter to a lot of different strategies like Kata Mastery, and a lot of different strategies that involve that, like the new the new Fu that just came out of the anniversary box, or the new whatever that is going to be a boss card. This can prevent a lot of those things. But if they're playing yellow, it's not very much worth it, and it's very heavy. You're not gonna have 4 energy just standing there. It's pretty hard. So knowing all this, right, what do we do? I think there are 3 options that we can do. The first simple one is that we should see more cards printed with Revenge, hopefully with Revenge blocker, more in the green archetype, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was in blue and as well as yellow. That's one thing. We do have Solar Flare, so that's another thing to kind of keep in mind. If it just has, if you didn't know, Solar Flare, you can get the attack and you complete a card as yellow, you choose one of your battle cards and it costs a 2 or less and gains blocker. So if we have a 2 or less Revenge card that is a yellow battle card, which is another reason why I'm expecting for the future to have some, Solar Flare would be really good for that. And you can prevent two attacks with that. I think if they go that direction, we'll probably see some things like that. Do we see other things like these 2-star, 1-star, 3-star, 5-star, and 4-star balls in which you play something or you pay 1 and then it gains Revenge? Would that be too busted? Who knows? I don't think so, because we have a number of blockers in the game. Yes, we do have a number of blockers. We do have cheap blockers like the Goten here. I do believe we have the old King Kai, or the North Kai. We have the Destined Deed free blockers. Any of those free blockers, basically. I think that would be pretty cool to have as far as like a green battle, or green activate battle, or green activate main card in which it gives Revenge. I think that would be really good. Or the last one, just announce that Revenge is dead. Just let us know. Be communicative. I can't even say it. That's how angry I am. just let us know that it is dead. And that's pretty much what I wanted to say. I just wanted to kind of go over those reviews. Those are my 3 quote unquote solutions. I would like to hear yours as well in the comments below. As I close this one out. Well, so thank you for watching. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.